different period of my design, I export the pattern in different settings. Now recently I found this setting is the most efficient way to print and assemble the pattern paper. If you notice there is page paper at the corner, then it means you have the lowest pattern here. And when you assemble them, you just put them side by side, edge by edge. That's enough, no overlap. Because when you print out the pattern, you should know different printers may have different margin value. It's by default. The margin value, the difference may vary from 1 millimeter to 5 millimeter. It is not possible to remove the predefined, like this. See, the predefined physical margin reserved for the printer. Okay, like this. There is no outline, but there is a black here as the edge. It's the predefined physical margin reserved for the printer, and the physical margin value is a fixed thing associated with certain type of printers. It can't be moved. So the easiest way to assemble the pattern is to use the PDF file with margin 0 millimeter. Then just put the pattern edge by edge, like this. Just like this. Put them edge by edge. No overlap. Just edge by edge. Okay. But please be aware that the lines of the pattern are not totally printed out on the edges due to the printer's physical margin. So when you assemble the papers together, make sure the lines on two papers go along with each other on the projected curves. It's easy. Okay, see, like this. Do not directly abut the lines together. You may lose the length, and you may also draw the missing parts of the lines by yourself, as long as it goes with the projection of curves. Or you can just save the time, just draw the line in your mind, like this. Or you can save this step, just click them together and cut it. See, that's easy. You will save the work to cut the old version of my pattern like this. Like this, there is a frame and for edge of the paper. You will cut them, then you put them together. This is an old version of the pattern. Okay, you should cut the edge of the paper. But this will save you a lot of work to cut the edge, paper edge. Okay. Pattern A. I have marked the alphabet on each pattern. So here is the pattern A. It's left front. Pattern B. It's right front. Pattern C. It's back. We fold and cut one. Pattern D. It's the collar. Okay, this 4 pattern is the basic pattern of this design. So you use these 4 pattern. It's enough for you to make a Pipa Jin waistcoat, and the rest of the small patterns is for decoration. If you are new to the sewing, so you can ignore this part. Just use these 4 pattern to make the waistcoat. And let's talk about the decoration part. You see, this one is the edge decoration of this part. Pattern E, or pattern F. Pattern E is this part, is for the front corner. Pattern F. This is pattern G. Pattern H. Pattern I. Pattern J. And pattern K for the armhole. Front, right, pattern L. Here use the same one, pattern K, and pattern E. Then this is back. Okay, this is for the decoration of the back neckline. This is the pattern for the back hem here. Oh, this one is for here. This is the same as the J. Pattern Q is for the back, and the pattern N is back armhole collar. So this is all the patterns in this design. Okay, let's start with these A, B, C, D, these 4 main fabric. And put the decoration edges aside, because we only need these 4 patterns to make this waistcoat, and the decoration is your own personal choice. Okay, this one, put the right side on. Put the main fabric right side on, cut 1. And please remember, at the edge of the apparel, like the front jean, here, the hem, the arm, and the upside of the collar, the hem. I move the seam allowance already because I will do the direction by using binding tape. So I have to remove the seam allowance this sides. But if you don't want to do that complicated version of the waistcoat, you can keep the seam allowance and just make the simple version of it. This is the front right, and put the fabric right side on and cut one. This is the back, and we fold the right side in, cut one. Fold the right side in. Align this edge to the fold line. Cut one. The collar. We fold the right side in. Fold the right side in. Cut one pair, okay. And there is a little tip, little tips. You can iron the fusible interlining to the wrong side of the fabric. Then you cut the collar. It will prevent the stretch of the fabric and make your cutting work easier. Okay, one pair of corner. Now let's prepare the decoration part of the waistcoat. First is for the front left, and this part is for the E is for the neck, and you will notice I keep the seam allowance at this front central, but when we put it on, we will remove this part. From here to here, we will remove this part of the seam allowance of the fabric and keep from here to here this part, so that we can connect with this part of the decoration tape. Okay, E is at the neck, and F is at the front Jin. The G at this corner. H, you put the side without seam allowance at the edge. Here, H, I, J, K. Okay, we all put the, you can choose any kind of color to match your main fabric, and this tutorial is just for demonstration, so I will choose a very shining color to show you how to make this waistcoat. Okay, each one cut one. Put the right side of the fabric on. Draw the patterns on the fabric, then cut it. Because these patterns are small, so you draw it first. It will help you. In ancient China, when people make this kind of decoration on the coat, they usually make embroidery at this fabric and this tape. If you have the embroidery machine, you can also make this yourself instead of this kind of colorful cotton fabric. It will be very unique if you use embroidery tape. Well, now let's connect these edges together at every joint part. Let's connect them. Okay, I connect these pieces together and iron the inner edge seams down. The inner edges seams down, iron it towards the wrong side and connect each pieces of the pattern. And the neck, when you connect these two together, don't forget fold the inner edge seam allowance in first. And the slits here, this line seam allowance should iron it previously also, and the armhole corner iron it. Then you can hand stitch this edge to this main fabric or you can use sewing machine to do this. If you have enough time, I suggest you use hand stitch it. You use hand stitch to do this work. Then the next is right front and the back, and we will use same pattern for the decoration. Is K for the arm and E for the front neck, and the J for the slit, front slit. Okay, this is L for the right front. And you can cut these three one pair in the last step, or you can cut it in this step, but you should put the patterns right side down, or put the fabrics wrong side up to cut these three patterns, each one piece. Okay, and this for back neck, and this is cut one pair, this cut one pair, cut one, this fold and cut one, this fold and cut one. And this part, it's a straight line, so you can choose to decorate it with a tape, the same white tape, or you don't do it. And I don't make the pattern for this part. It's just a pure, simple, straight tape here. So let's make these three, put the fabric. If we put the fabric wrong side up, then we don't have to put the pattern wrong side up. And the easiest way is to cut one pair and the last steps. L, put the right side on and fold to cut. And from here to here, it's a simple straight line. So you just cut the same wide tape to decorate it. And please remember and extra seam allowance and this end, the two end of the tape. Okay, same. Iron the inner circles, seam allowance down. Connect them. Cut the extra. Okay, baste the tape decoration on. And for the back, fold the fabric wrong side in and cut one. This neck, and fold the fabric wrong side in and cut one. And cut one pair. So baste them onto the main fabric. Okay, now the main fabric part has been decorated, and the edges base has been basted to the edges. The next step, we will assemble them together and ending the bias tape and finish the edges. Okay, after we baste the decoration edge of the apparel, then we use machine to stitch this in the inner side of the decoration tape or embroidered tape. Okay, all of the inner circle of the decoration tape. Then we use the bias tape to binding the edges of arm and side seam side opening, the slits and the hem. Except the neck. Okay. Except the neck. Then we use hand stitch to flip the bias tape to the wrong side of the main fabric. Then hand stitch to secure from the wrong side. Okay. I have hand stitched the inner side of the bias tape to the edges I want to decorate. Look like this. Remember, this one you should cut yourself. Or you don't. And my way, which is a simple way, if you are fresh to the sewing, so you can do it in my way, which is binding the tape at first, then you connect the shoulder, the side seam, or you can do it the normal way. You connect the you after you install the decoration edge, which is the yellow one. After you install this to attach this to the main fabric, then you connect the shoulder line and the side seam. After this, you bind the edges. It will look more smooth. Okay, when we're doing that, after we're doing this, the next thing is we install the collar. And this time I designed it. I designed to make the collar in another traditional way, which is a fake collar. So you can choose in this way. You have two options to wear this waistcoat without the collar and with the collar. And in order to do so, so you should bind the collar circle. You should bind the neck at first, just like this one. Bind it, bind the edges, and we do the corner. We make the corner separately. We could remove the baseline after we finish all the work. Making biting the neck, biting the neck. The neck to the other end of it. If you don't want to trim off the half of the seam allowance here, and you can fold it, and then you sew along this line to secure the seam allowance here, and make it more firm. It's more firm at the neck. The structure at the neck is more firm. And I use the red thread to show you how to do this. And when you are sewing by yourself, you should use the same color of the binding tape. You should do it very careful. Well, the neck will be look like this, and this is the wrong side. We will have, after these two steps, we will have a firm structure of the neckline. And the last step is we secure this edge to the wrong side of the neck. And I suggest we use the single thread. Hide it at the wrong side. Don't show at the right side. Or you can just only use a simple stitch. It's up to you. Okay. I have secured the other side of the binding tape at the wrong side. So the neck finished. And till now, you have a waistcoat finished. You can see that. If you don't want the collar, you can totally skip it. And just adding the buttons here, 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 and here. That's all. But if you want to install the we said fake color, you follow the next step. Okay, let's do the color. We put the color fabric, right side facing right side. And we stitch the neckline together. this line is around the neck. After this, we bind the upper edge of it. Okay, you flip the right side out and iron the seam. Okay, this line is the neckline. Now we're binding the edge, the upper side. Mhm. Then we fold it to the wrong side, then sew it along. Okay, well, so the binding job is done. So when you wear this waistcoat, you could choose not attach the collars on, just wear it like this, or use hand stitch this neckline to the neck. Okay, remove all the baste stitches out of, and this is finished product. So this is how you wear this waistcoat with the 大金山 as a blouse, 穷山 blouse inside, or normal t-shirt inside. Without, or if you wear normal t-shirt, you should not wear the t-shirt has the collar. And you need to install the button and here, 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 here. 5 or 6 buttons. And how to make buttons? You can check my YouTube channel, Studio 82 Forever. This is good with the horseface skirt. And if you want, you can add more decoration tape inside. Next, I will show you how to install the collars on. And you can you can wear it without collar in the summer when the weather is warm or hot, and you can choose to install the collar onto it when the weather is cold, like in winter. It's easy to install the collar to the neckline. You just align the edge to this line, this sewing line, because this is actually the line without seam, if without seam. So don't just connect them like this. You should hide it at the wrong side, along with this red sewing line. To make sure you align them properly. It's easy. Okay. See, you should install inside the neckline. We have the version with